Good morning. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Up early this morning, having my coffee. I have no voice. The Eagles just mollywop, just beat the dog shit out of the Kansas City Chiefs. That 22 points is not indicative in any way of how that game went. They got a lucky touchdown late, then they got another touchdown with our backups in. But we had these jokers with no score through three quarters. We mollywopped them jokers. And I like to go back and just look at all of the receipts, all of the comments, all of the backhand compliments, and all of the stuff that you saw on TV, man. I'm on work on that just to look at how far we came as a team from preseason and camp. When I had a chance to go down on Alumni Day and just see the boys for myself, having a chance to spend time with Nakobe Dean and then seeing what happened with him when he got injured, and for everything that we did from all the way in camp to this point right now, even going back as far as at the end of last year when everybody wanted Nick Sirianni fired. So they were valid reasons, but, and I've said this before, what did it for me when it comes to Nick Sirianni specifically, at the end of last year, after that Tampa Bay game, Fletcher Cox had a chance to speak because he knew he was retiring and it's his last game. And he pretty much co-signed for Nick Sirianni. And that struck me because he did not have to do that. That was his moment. That was all about him. Nick Sirianni should not have entered that conversation, but he did it. And you only do that for a reason. You only do that when you got somebody that you would ride or die for, that you would run through that wall for. There's a lot of coaches like that, but there are more coaches that aren't. And we got a good one. I will never forget. Shout out to my guy, Jim Ballard, one of my teammates with the Scottish Claymores when we won a title. He coached Sirianni at Mount Union. And I remember when we hired Sirianni, he gave that crappy flower speech, his first press conference. And I had Jim Ballard on my podcast. And he said, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Mount Union might be Division III, but a championship is a championship. And I believe Sirianni won 3 of them as a wide receiver out there. So it doesn't matter what level you play at, a chip is a chip. You never know when you're going to get one, and you never know when you'll get another opportunity to try again. I'm saying that to say he comes from winning. He understands what it takes to win. Just bringing that attitude, all of the talk that we had at the beginning of the year of what is a CEO coach. And this was mostly from people that still wanted him fired and wanted us to go in a different direction. Kellen Moore getting the opportunity and making the most of it. And let me be honest with you, even during the game, when we were up by 4 touchdowns, and I'm still bitching that he keeps trying to run the ball inside and not letting Saquon get outside a little bit. I'm still bitching about that. But guess what? Saquon got the record I talked about. He got the record I talked about. We're good with the Eric Dickerson stuff. What did I tell you was the most important record? It wasn't the regular season record. It's the Super Bowl record. And that's the one he got. Single season rushing record, including the playoffs. He is one of 2 in NFL history. One of 2. 2,000 yards and a Super Bowl ring. That's the mark we were going for. That's the mark we got. So everybody that had something to say about Saquon getting sat out that last game when he wasn't needed, we had everything locked up. Everything happens for a reason. It is the coach's job. It was Sirianni's job to be the adult in the room. After you heard all of that stuff on TV, everybody had something to say. But at the end of the day, our coach made the right decision. And we took it to the ultimate conclusion. And we came out on top. And I'm watching all of the Good Morning Football, and they got Michael Buffer on and all the stuff that he doing. Like, man, all of the shit they talked on Jalen Hurts, man, get out of here. I'm pulling all the receipts, bro. All of them. Just the aftermath of feeling and emotion and exuberance and joy and all of the stuff was going through last night, man. When you are part of an organization, when you part of a team, whether you're a former player, current player, it doesn't matter. When that feeling is tangible. That feeling reverberates through your body. When you put a performance on last night after all of the stuff that was talked, all of the flip-flopping about how good you were, how good your quarterback was, all of that stuff bubbles up to the top. Think about it like this. When it rains, why are the roads dangerous when it rains? Because what happens is when the water hits the road, oil and water don't mix. So all the oil and nastiness that's sunk in the road over time, all of that stuff bubbles up to the top. That's what makes the road slick and dangerous. It's the same thing with your emotions. All of the stuff you kind of suppressed and all of that stuff bubbles up to the top and it gets released. We beat the absolute dog shit out of the Chiefs last night. And nobody saw it coming. Nobody had it on their bingo card. And even though we had the best team on paper, on the field, you saw what we did on the field all freaking year. And people still doubted us. And people still don't understand that we were 2 drop passes away from only having 1 loss this whole year. Those 2 losses, we gave that game away. Washington, we gave it away. Atlanta, we gave it away. But when it's all said and done, we stood on the biggest stage. Jalen Hurts had the best performance. Our defense had the best performance. And it wasn't a surprise. If you did the homework, if you watched the film, it wasn't a surprise. Y'all go stop doubting us. I would encourage anybody, get you a subscription to NFL Pro or NFL.com or the Amazon Stats or whatever. Start watching tape and start studying yourself. And you will quickly realize that all these idiots on television don't know jack. And I'm saying that talking to the former players as well, because the former players will talk one way, even though they know better, but they got to placate to the platform they own. They got to do what they got to do to get their clicks and their likes. And a lot of them are disingenuous and they going with the flow because that's the show. I get that, but do your own study. Look at the film yourself and you'll see exactly what you need to see. And you'll get the answers that you're looking for. Anybody that watched tape, that watched what was going on during the year, you knew exactly what we were. You knew exactly the type of defense that we had, and you still gonna try to pick the Chiefs anyways. Patrick Mahomes didn't have one of his better years this year. You saw that all year, but y'all want to tap into that mystique and all of that kind of stuff. Man, that shit don't matter when you step on the field. When you step on the field, all of that stuff goes out the window. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And that's what happened last night. Eagles were the better defensive team. The Eagles had the better offensive line. We had the best running back in the league. And even when you did stop him, you forget about quarterback 1 running around the outside and making you pay. And that's exactly what happened. That same quarterback that you said couldn't throw, that same quarterback that you said couldn't read a defense, that same quarterback that you said would never win a title playing the way he plays, that same quarterback ripped you a new one. So the next time I come through with a video like this, I'll be down on Broad Street at the parade. Go Birds.